Good afternoon, listeners, ladies, gentlemen, and all my NB friends. You are tuned into Sacred Voices on KGNU. My name is Aston, and I'm on the board of directors for Sacred Voices. Sacred Voices is an indigenous spoken word and poetry nonprofit organization focused, based in Denver, Colorado. We do workshops for at-risk youth. We do workshops for underserved youth in the Denver metro area, and we host an open mic event the fourth Friday of every month. Speaking of which, we have Jahmila and Shaun here, also known as Mama Jah and Shaun Dawn the Truth. How are you two doing?
Peace. Doing good. Feeling good.
Definitely. It's great to be here, as always.
Great. And you two were the featured performers at our previous open mic. We have a few of your guests in the studio. We have your dog and your baby here with us. Might expect to hear them a little bit. Shaun, I'd like to turn the conversation to you first and just give you an opportunity to introduce yourself. I saw that you were a musician, a performer, a poet. Tell us a little bit about your work and yourself.
So, I go by Shaun Dawn the Truth, and the A and Truth are all capitalized, and they stand for Always Teach Resilience Utilizing the Heart. And the reason behind that name is I've had several situations in life that have made me rethink, how am I going to have a meaningful day every day? Even waking up today wasn't easy. I talked to a lot of my students. I teach with Youth on Record, and my students are always going through things, and it just makes me wonder how am I going to reach them? But even bigger than that is like, how do I communicate like my story and relate it to others who have experienced things that are similar or different? A lot of my history hasn't just been readily accessible, and that's not just because of my identity, which in this society is constructed as black. It has to do with a lot of the shame that we have as men. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of love that we do have, and at the same time it's something that's masked because we're taught to hide a lot of our emotions. So most of my work thus far has been trying to understand that mask and the different ways that I've participated, and more than anything had to experience pain because of the mask that we all kind of share in one way or the other.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad that you were talking about the difficulties that it is to be have masculinity in our current society, that mask that you have to wear. And we will hear more about that when we hear a piece of yours in the second half of the program. And we will talk all about that. But for now, I want to turn the conversation to Jahmila, because you were a featured performer at our previous open mic as well. So the same question to you. You did a number of things. You were a poet. You even did some dancing at our previous show. I'd like to hear about what drives you to be an artist. How did you get started? Just tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I go by Mama Jah, and I originally started dancing when I was 8 years old, and I just fell in love with expressing myself through movement. And I originally got started in poetry because in a time of my life I wasn't I didn't have the ability to dance, so I was looking to find a way to express myself through words, and that's really how I started getting into poetry. I feel like it's essential for everyone to have an ability to express who they are or express what they're going through, and I like to do that with my poetry. Right now I'm just doing the mama life. Just had a baby. She's about to turn 9 months tomorrow, which is super exciting.
And she's sitting on your lap right now. So
yeah, sitting on my lap. Her name's Oya Irie, and I'm just so blessed and thankful to have been given this opportunity to be a mama. I think mothers are incredible. They're powerful, strong, captivating, and that's one of the reasons why my artist name is Mama Jah, just to give respect to all mothers and to show that we're capable of being exactly who we are, and that we're not just moms, but the woman inside is what really matters. So
that's really great to hear, and I'm going to give our listeners a chance to hear some of your work. I'm going to play a clip from our February open mic, and after the clip, we will come back and we'll talk about what we've heard. So this is Mama Jah with one of her poems from our February open mic. Enjoy.
They never told us that black is beautiful. They never told us. They never told us that black is beautiful. Matter of fact, they haven't told me a lot of things about being black, like why my complexion is the rarest thing in creation, or why it's the most dangerous to these Caucasians. I find myself contemplating these questions daily, mainly during the month of February. Like, why are we obligated to learn about our history within the shortest month of the year? It's no mystery, it's simple blasphemy, and it doesn't surprise me that black inventors such as Louis Latimer, who invented a long-lasting light bulb, was burnt out of recognition, or Garrett Morgan, black inventor who added a yield component to the traffic signal, is a hit and run within our black youth's knowledge, or Shirley Chisholm, the first black congresswoman in 1968 who broke major barriers, isn't something I learned in my history class. Us black gods and goddesses completely forgotten, but apparently it's important for us to know George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and Abraham Lincoln and Ulysses S. Grant, and can't forget about Benjamin Franklin. To me, those are just men who appear deadly green, and I keep working and working in the land they call the free, all while still chasing a dream, trying to understand what it truly means to be black, living in America. Does it mean putting up our hands and still getting shot because law enforcement is scared of us, or fitting the black stereotype because society deems it as right, or surviving and not truly living? Nah. It can't be. Let's break it down. The African American dream. Recently, I took a journey to Ethiopia, and it opened my eyes up to the original. A place that is a beacon for freedom in Africa. A place that felt like home, even though it was my first time being there. Me and my baby felt connected to Mother Nature, a green that is my favorite color because it reminds me of life. And when I think of Africa, the first word that comes to mind is freedom. America. The only thing that comes to mind is survival of the fittest, opportunity. Dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will live out of its true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All humans were created equal. The African American dream means stolen from freedom to work for an opportunity to claim that freedom again. We cannot forget who we are or where we come from. The black man, woman, and child are the original people chosen. Technically, we all come from Africa, so that makes us a family. If we can look past the skin and see our spirituality, see our ancestors resting in peace, feel our connection with each heartbeat, understand my tribe. Every month is Black History Month. Let us stand up all right now with our fists in the air and say, Say Black Lives Matter. Say Black Lives Matter. Say Black Lives Matter. We can't go back or predict the future, but what we can do is live in the present moment and know Black is beautiful. Thank you.
All right, and if you are just joining us, that was Mama Jah, also known as Jahmila, who is here with us in the studio. That was a very powerful poem, and I want to give you an opportunity to just expand on the ideas you presented in that further, but I also wanted to just pose the simple question to you and to Shaun as well. Just what does being Black mean to you? You kind of answered it a little bit in that poem, but I think it would be great for all the listeners to just hear you expand upon that a little bit. So let me know your thoughts.
Okay, yeah. So I'll expand on the poem first. I wrote that poem a year ago in February, and I was just really like fed up with celebrating my Blackness in 1 month. And at the time, it seemed like the people that I was around was just really like focused on being the blackest they could in February, and then after that it really didn't matter. And I just don't think that's fair. I don't think it's right to just claim to be Black in 1 month. So yeah, I was writing it, and I was just putting a lot of emotion into it, a lot of rage, because I feel like a lot of our history is forgotten within the school systems or within parenting or within anything. And I feel like that's something that should always be remembered, because melanated people built this country, in my opinion. And we should be recognized. We should be honored. And I feel like, in a way, like, we should all be forgiven. And that's one of the reasons why I say at the end, like it doesn't matter about our skin color, because we all come from Africa. And about a year and a half ago, I took a journey to Ethiopia, actually, and wow, such an incredible journey. And I was doing a lot of research, and some of the first like fossils came from Ethiopia. So technically we all come from Africa. Right. So if people can just recognize that, it would put away like a lot of judgment and a lot of hate, and I feel like a lot of unity could come together. But yeah, with the meaning of being Black, I feel like that meaning, it's something that it's pure yet tainted in a way. And I feel like with each individual, it's unique. Yeah, it's something that it's like yin and yang in a way. It's something that is so great yet so terrifying to be Black. Something that someone, like, a lot of people want to be. Could you hold it really quick? But not a lot of people want to represent. And for me, it's something that I just want to keep diving deeper into, keep understanding who I am and where I come from, and that I'm not a stereotype. I'm 100% Jahmila, and that's Black, that is white, it's everything. I feel like Black is literally everything. Everything comes from Black, in my opinion. So,
well, thank you for that. That's I appreciate hearing your perspective, and I think that our listeners will as well. Shaun, do you have anything to add on to that?
Well, first, I apologize that Love farted. I smelled it. So.
These things happen.
It just kind of like became this whiff, and I was like, oh man. But I was struggling to take my hoodie off because I wanted to read the definition of a black man that I have on my shirt. And it says, the original men of the planet, richly melanated male who honors, uplifts, and upholds with the most respect the black queen, protector and provider for his black queen and royal family, one whose life has more value than illustrated by society. So when I think about the narrative that we are constantly consuming about blackness, well, mainly in this country, is that we were slaveable individuals who, like, that's like the epitome of our existence. Like, that is our source of origin. It's something that we should have shame about. Like, that's the narrative that I kind of grew up with a lot, going to school out here. And like in Jahmila's poem, like this black is beautiful concept, it's for me reclaiming something that historically just hasn't been acknowledged. Everybody is beautiful, but the fact that we have to create a slogan called Black Lives Matter just for people to understand, like, we're not supposed to be deprived of our human rights. That's just been an ongoing struggle for me as I guess it's a human, you know, when it's all said and done. Humans hurt humans, and I feel like once we can come to a point where we acknowledge how much pain is really just under the surface, who knows what the possibilities are.
Right.
But if we keep running from the reality, and if we keep trying to hide our not so great moments, at some point it's going to boil over. And I feel like most folks who have been marginalized, black folks, brown, red, yellow, whoever, within the caste system, especially financially, we just want to be heard. And that's why music is beautiful. That's why poetry is beautiful. That's why creating children is beautiful, because where my family historically struggled to have a history or have healthy relationships, it's like Jahmila and myself get to practice this every day. And it's like, I guess with my family, there was probably a lot of babysitting going on when I was 9 months or 8 months or however old. And with us, we're just taking our family with us. Even if she wants her mic time, you know, like, we're going to make sure that our family is with us. We're going to make sure that they know who we are.
Right.
All the fatherhood issues, we've been there. I actually tried calling my granddad yesterday, because even though the greatest relationship between us as men it's not yet existent, but I do feel there's something sacred about having stories told. And I really value that within Sacred Voices, because when I first got to know Sacred Voices, it was Café Cultura, and I heard some amazing artists and amazing poets come through there. So to know that now I'm in a position to tell my story on this platform, and I get to share this platform with Jahmila and Oya and Love, it's beautiful.
Well, thank you, and thank you for shouting us out. We love to lift up voices such as yours to, you know, have members of our community hear stories such as yours. And I want to turn the conversation over to your work that you performed, Shaun, in the latter half of the performance. We are going to take a little bit now to hear a work from Shaun from our previous open mic, and then we're going to take a moment to talk about the topics brought up there, talk about your influences, just give you a moment to respond to yourself, basically. But first, we are going to take a listen to what you had to say.
The power structure had successfully created the image
Shout out
of
to
the
Malcolm
American
X.
Negro
He
as
was
someone
killed
with no
February
confidence,
21st,
no
1965.
militancy. And they had done this
They
by
always
giving
try
him
to kill us
images
for whatever reason.
of
I don't know
heroes
why.
that weren't truly militant or confident.
Woke up kinda early trying to bust a move. Life's a mystery, I'm playing Scooby-Doo. Nonchalant, be my attitude. Shout out to D&D, well he made the tunes. Mile high motivated, all I hear is fuck you pay me. Gentrify everything, homeless folks make it rain. China Village keep them out, what the hell we talking about? This ain't Trump,
This ain't Trump.
women march for what? I'm just asking questions, trying to get some answers, cause I feel a lot of cancer in my city, in my city. 303, let's make a change, 303, let's change the game. Rolling in my city, bruh. Rolling in my city, man. Rolling in my city, bruh. Smile high, sacred voices. Rolling in my city, bruh. Rolling in my city, man. Rolling in my city, bruh. Smile high, sacred voices. Stranger to my nation, fueled by segregation, population etiquette. Teach me how to get a check that when Raheem meets the fish we piss. Cause he don't get his, he got his kid. He's alive, you know, we don't cry, you know. Rest in peace, Mike Mack, dark skin, light skin, shade war, no wins. Fighting for trends, obsolete. Want the bins and hourly, worth the salary, names for numbers, slaves and slumbers. Eat the dumb, it's irrelevant. Take a seat, I lost my job, and a mob telling me my cause is coon. The cause be doomed. Rolling in my city, bruh. Rolling in my city, man. Rolling in my city, bruh. Rolling in my city, bruh. Rolling in my city, man. Man, rolling in my city, bruh. Show me love. Notice and got them, the ego is real. Always got money, but never can build. Some kind of silly, you wanna be famous. Shooting me down, killing me now. What are we now? Follow the sound, you're touching me now. Zombies walk the earth slow. Eat me, you never grow. Beat me, you better know. We'll do it big on live shows. Chase dreams, leading my squad to new heights. Blowing up like dynamite. Proud surf, that sound right. All night with one mic. I'm Bruce Wayne, you jokers. Yeah. I'm Bruce Wayne, you jokers. Okay. Cat called him sound right. Everybody look at him so tight. Sacred voices make some noise. Rolling in my city, bruh. Rolling in my city, man. Rolling in my city, bruh. Mile high, sacred voices. Woo! Rolling in my city, bruh. Rolling in my city, man. Rolling in my city, bruh. Mile high, sacred voices. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yeah.
All right, and if you are just joining us, that was Shaun Dawn, The Truth, performing at Sacred Voices February open mic just last month. We have Shaun here in the studio. Is there anything you'd like to tell us about that song that we just heard you perform?
Yeah, I feel like there were several different things going on that were upsetting me when I wrote those lyrics, and all three of the verses came from different time periods. And with the first one, it's kind of funny because I say woke up kind of early trying to bust a move, and I can still relate to that verse right now because it's like sometimes I just wake up and it feels weird, like something is going on. And I feel like, and Scooby-Doo is somebody I mentioned in there. I love Scooby-Doo. That's my guy, Scooby and Shaggy. but I feel like life is this mystery. You're always trying to figure out who you are within this great puzzle of life. And I mentioned several things that happen: homelessness, gentrification. I saw the Women's March, or at least I heard the Women's March a couple years ago. I just heard about it, and I was thinking, I mean, marches are cool, protests are cool, but why are they even doing it? And that is such a difficult question, because on one hand, it's like, well, there's inequity in the United States when it comes to how women are paid, how women are treated, and at the same time, I got to a point in life where I was like, well, what is really going to happen? Like, what is the action step post protest or post march? Because I feel like if we can spend time to organize in a march, then we can definitely take time to organize a political campaign, or we can organize to have the people who really represent how we feel as folks who are marginalized, or folks who don't have the same financial power or stability. We have those moments, but it's like, why are some of these things just so temporary? And I was also just giving a shout out to my uncle when he was killed. He was killed by cops in Rancho Cordova, California, and he was killed by cops of all things. And it's just like, okay, well, this isn't just Trayvon Martin or Mike Brown. This is Michael McIntyre. This is Sandra Bland. You know, there's all sorts of names, but it's like the purpose of that question or that song is to really create an awareness for myself and for anybody who actually likes it or listens, whatever. It's just, I want us to ask ourselves, why are we set up to fail? Why is my daughter not in a position where she can be the president? If she has the right thinking, if she loves the people, if, you know, she cares about the animals and the planet, like, why is she not able to be who she wants to be? Who gets to dictate those possibilities? And how do we come together to redefine what those possibilities should be?
Yeah, I think you've brought up a lot of good points there, and one of the things that I was curious about is at another point during your performance, you were talking about raising up women and how it seemed like you took it on as your personal responsibility to raise women up as queens. I think you put it in some way similar to that. So I was curious what your thoughts were on the role of the male feminist. You know, what is the responsibility of men in the struggle for women's rights?
It's funny that you mention male feminists, and I got a minor in college in women's studies, and there's all these different movements about how women have gotten certain rights and how women have had to fight so hard historically in this country, but all over the world. The woman's voice is marginalized, and the biggest thing for me is to just bring attention to the humanist movement. A woman is a human before she's a woman. So I feel like, for me, I'm just one human trying to provide awareness to the fact that other human beings, in particular the human beings who birth other human beings, are not taken to the same degree of seriousness as the seed providers. And I've historically grown up with strong women, so for me to have a daughter, it's definitely my responsibility to nurture her the best that I can, and above all else, actually be here for her, because I was raised by a 14-year-old teenage girl, and if I was raised by a teenage girl and a 33-year-old grandmother, then that meant that there had to have been a lack of male presence, because I will always let my daughter know she has total agency over her body and her choices. However, with each choice, there's a potential consequence, positive consequence and negative consequence. And it's just hard for me to understand how I would not use the gift that I have, the gift of the word, the gift of performance or charisma, whatever it is, leadership. Whatever those gifts are, I need to make sure that I'm using it to authenticate the human experience.
That's great, and I think you're doing great by advocating for your daughter so much. And I'd love to get more of the woman opinion on this. We're hearing a lot from your daughter right now, which is great. But Jahmila, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well. Shaun's continued work trying to advocate for women, and just your opinions on the topic at large.
Yeah, so I do think it's very important to advocate for women, especially because we've been marginalized so much. But I think it's important to advocate for yourself, especially just like what Shaun was saying. We're humans before we become our certain gender. And even when we're born, we have the option to choose who we are and who we want to be. So I think it's important to just advocate for human equality and just to recognize that that's important. I feel like that's really what's going to unify everyone. It's just accepting people for who they are and giving that respect. You got to give respect in order to receive it. So yeah, I also do think it's important. Geez, she keeps dropping this passy. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like it's important to express the narrative to young girls that they are queens and goddesses and that they're royalty, especially at a young age, because I don't know, it just thank you, it allows them to dive deeper into themselves and to really like go to high potential, to reach their highest potential. And I feel like that's important with anything, just encouragement. You're a king, you're a god, you're a queen, you're a goddess. It's all important within this human experience.
I definitely see the value in raising people up like that, so they can, see the value within themselves more easily that way. Mm-hmm. We're running low on time here, so I wanted to ask you both a quick question, because one of the first bits of exposure that I had to the two of you as an act was I got a picture from you guys to feature on our Instagram to promote your act, and it was the two of you on stage performing together, and you had your daughter in your arms, and she was up there with you while you're performing, and she had these big headphones on, and I just thought it was the cutest picture. But it raises the question, what is it like to be not only a performing couple, but a performing couple who's juggling the duties of being a parent as well? What is that like?
Yeah, so it's different. I feel like it has its challenges, but ultimately it's so rewarding. I wish my parents could have had the opportunity to perform with me and show me what their passions were, because I feel like that definitely would have like driven me more to, you know, go for what I'm going for now. And that's really what I just want to show my daughter, is that she can make anything possible and she can do anything, and that love is ultimately the most powerfulest energy in the world, I believe. And that if we're able to utilize that love and push it through your art or your passion, you can do so much with it. So that's really why I love just performing with her and taking her to concerts. She's probably been to at least like 5 concerts already, and she's only 9 months. So I don't know, I just love her so much, and I just want to just do right by her, do right by me, but especially do right by her.
That's great. I love to hear it. Shaun, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, so for one, I feel like I was probably 19 or so when I went to my first like concert or show, and I'm looking back like, man, a lot of that had to do with how much instability at times was coming in my life, because my family, there's very talented people. My mom and my grandma are phenomenal writers. My mom's father is extremely charismatic. He's a great radio person. My father, he's a community activist, and it's just like when you know you're supposed to do things, you figure out a way to do it. Like this is the most normal thing for me, to be with my family performing, to be with my lady, to be with my baby, to be with my dog performing. That's what we have historically done as a people, and it's just taking back the history that was taken from me. I didn't know until about a year and a half ago that there were saxophone players in my family, in my blood, and it makes sense why I love this stuff. Like I genuinely get happy when I have an opportunity to express myself. But when society tells you you're a thug, you're a nigga, you're all these different words that are derogatory, and they minimize your value, you have to work that much harder to redefine who you are relative to what you're taught and what you're told you are. So there's nothing more important to me than finding a sense of peace in being with my family on stages, doing what I love to do.
That's great, and thank you both for being here so much. One thing before we go is I wanted to ask the both of you to plug yourselves. Where can people find you if they've enjoyed what they've listened to today? What's your Instagram, your Facebook, all of that stuff?
Yeah, so my Facebook, you can find me at Jahmila and Ali. And my Instagram, it's Mama Jah 333. Yeah. And soon to be, I'm going to have a website, because I'm going to be opening up a business soon. And that's going to be www.mamajahslounge.com.
Great. And what about you, Shaun?
So for me, if you were to look me up on Instagram, you can find me at SHAUN_DON_THA_TRUTH. And that is how you can basically find me. If you Google that, you can find my SoundCloud. That's what my SoundCloud would be, Shaun Don the Truth. And I have a Facebook page called Babytown Production. Babytown, BABYTOWN Production. And on there I list a lot of the community things that we're doing, but also a lot of the music that I do is featured on there as well. So
Great.
Yeah.
If you are interested in what you've heard today, be sure to check out our artists at those respective places. As for Sacred Voices, you can find us online at sacred-voices.org, on Facebook at Sacred Voices, and on Instagram at Sacred Voices Denver. I will add that for the month of March, we're going to be asking attendees of our open mic to attend virtually online. It'll be streaming on our Facebook page just because of the virus that is now been officially classified as a pandemic. We're asking people to stay home and enjoy Sacred Voices from the comfort of their own home. But for now, that will be all for us for this afternoon. Jahmila, Shaun, thank you so much for coming on the show, and we will see all of our listeners next time. Thanks for listening.